Yeah, I just thought I'd go over a few things that have changed on the Jeep recently. I got some new tires. These are the Toyo Open Countries. I like them. I decided to drift away from the BFGs, and these are really, really good. The only thing I don't like about this particular one is they oriented it so that the Jeep is off to one side against my OCD proclivities. But they look good. They're not much taller than what I had, which I was hoping they'd be a little bit. They're a little, almost an inch, not quite an inch taller, which is okay. But they are a little bit wider, so that's kind of nice. And yeah, they do the job. They do the job, that's what matters. Another thing I did, which I'll open the hood and show you in a moment, is that I fixed a problem I had with my battery that I charge to keep my fridge going with. I have a solar panel up top there to do most of that work, as you know, if you watch my walk around video. But yeah, let's open the hood and I'll show you. This is a 4-prong relay that gets power from the battery via this line, then runs power back into the Jeep. It gets triggered from my VO switch, and of course then the final lead is a ground. And then on my VO switch here I have a button called Sasquatch. I don't know why I use Sasquatch. I wanted something labeled that didn't match everything else. So anyway, that lead comes down and powers a inverter that you see under there, and that inverter goes to this brick, which will power this in a pinch. You can hear it running right now. Actually, the EB55 is actually running its fans because it's getting charged from the solar, so periodically those fans will come on. So what happens is we'll get in and show you that too, is when I'm driving, I can hit this button and it will power my inverter, and then it will give me constant charge to the EB55. And then when I shut off the truck, it shuts it off. So that allows me to power it with AC. AC wasn't my first choice. I really wanted to do all of that with pure DC, but this works, and this was a little bit simpler to do. I wanted to be able to use a 5-prong relay and just flip between solar and battery, and just use this as a trigger to flip back and forth, but that gets a little bit more complicated. I wasn't real comfortable. I do have a wiring harness built with a 5-way relay to do that, and I may switch to it at some point, but right now this works, and it works pretty well. And AC, you lose some efficiency, but you're going to be driving, you're going to be generating plenty of power with the V6 anyway, so you know, it is what it is. But anyway, that's some things I've done to old Gobi to help me along the way. One other thing I did, this is another thing I meant to point out, is I put these little foam pads here. This is really, really dense foam. I mean, enough that you just can't compress it very much. And I have it on each side of the rack. The reason is this rack is connected at the frame and at the A-pillar, but nowhere else. And while it will hold a lot of weight, it does shift back and forth some. I know that because I just had some like these wedged in here at one point and not strapped, and they just fell out because of the Jeep moving back and forth, and it doesn't take much. So my thinking is one day I might want to go back to a rooftop tent, and if I do, I'm going to have enough movement there. Not enough movement to damage the top. I'm not worried about that. It's just that there's going to be some play, and I wanted to kind of eliminate some of that. So One way to do that is just put some pads there. This may not be permanent. I may come up with a situation where I can clamp something here. I just don't know yet. But I think this is going to work okay. What little bit of flex I do get. So I wanted to keep it low on the top because this is going to be a structurally more solid area as opposed to up here where it might push in and flex enough that I could get some cracking. So that's the reason for that. One thing I didn't mention in the walk around video was the Smitty built neoprene seat covers. Those are really great. I have leather seats in here because this was essentially a rebadged Sahara. It's an altitude edition. I do get a little bit of ill fitting over here on the driver's side. It bunches up a little bit. I've got to get in there and play with the strapping and all, but overall I really like them. They match the Jeep, which is nice. That's important apparently. But yeah, those are really nice. Protect the seats. They do say that you'll feel body heat more sitting in these. I haven't really noticed that, but I really like them. But yeah, that's some of the changes I've made recently, some of the updates. I've got other things coming. There's always something, of course, when you own a Jeep. But yeah, a few updates. Maybe you find that useful. Maybe you find it completely uninteresting. Probably more of the latter. But anyway, check in with you on the next one.